Then attend to this heaven slice of an angel wrapped in skin. Throw dice and woes of life. Love deprived, look at her vibe. What's the meaning of life? One subjective paradise. Crystal chandeliers, motives reflected. Often mirrors a pit, click, grinning from ear to ear. Craving and raving and grain, rekindle the flame. Closer she draws near. Stay there, remove your underwear. Shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, we know our purpose. In paradise, we know what our worth is. In paradise, we manifest dreams. In paradise, truth is what you can see.
Boom. Yes, it is. The truth is what you can see. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Unpopular Hour. Of course, I'm your host, Matt Clark. Today, we're coming to you from Georgia's Happy Hog. You know, it is Tuesday, and we are here to get some food and to talk some sports. In fact, I was on a little late because I was sitting there having a conversation with someone who was giving me insight on his opinion on the Thunder and what they're doing, and it was just kind of nice to hear someone else give me insight about things that I didn't really think about. But anyway, we're at Georgia's Happy Hog, 712 Culbertson Drive, located just east of Lincoln, just south of the state capitol and north of the OU Medical Center. For catering events, you can call them at 405-525-8111. They are closed Sundays and Mondays, open 10 to 7 11 to 7 Tuesday through Friday, and then Saturdays they're open from 11 to 5. So, go ahead and join this place. I mean, I actually love coming here, and we want to thank YNB. Where's my deal? What is the deal with my stuff today? I don't even know where all my stuff is today. I don't understand what's happening. Anyway, we want to thank YNB, family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They're an equal housing lender and a member of the FDIC, and they are a reason why we are here today at Georgia's, proudly sponsoring women, minority, and black-owned businesses in the Oklahoma City area. You can pre-qualify online at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com. Or you can go into the main bank down in Yukon at 401 Elm in downtown Yukon, YNB East, which is off the Parkway and 66 or 39th Expressway, YNB Mustang, located at 218 North Mustang Road, and then YNB Parkway, which is off Garth Brooks and I-40, just south of I-40. You can't miss it, just right there in front of the hospital. And then, of course, YNB Peoples, located in Bethany, on 23rd between Rockwell and MacArthur. So we want to thank YNB for having us up here today and sponsoring us. Like I said, the Thunder have a huge game tonight. We talked about them losing the other night to the Bucks. They have a stretch coming up. We had an 8-game stretch, and right now they're 0-1 in the 8-game stretch that they have coming up. And tonight we have a huge game tonight. Against the Pelicans in New Orleans. Now, the Thunder are favored. The Pelicans are +1. The over-under is 223. Of course, it's going to be on Bali tonight, which I will not be watching. I'll be watching Bali, but I will have the volume turned off because I just can't. I can't listen to them. I absolutely cannot listen to them. They're just terrible. Thunder 49-21. Pelicans 44-27. And this is the reason why this is an important game, because when you look at the NBA standings, which is what this is all about, the Thunder are now a half game behind the Nuggets, and the Thunder are looking for their 50th win to be the third team in the NBA with 50 wins this year. T-Wolves are right on our tails at 49-22, but the reason why I was saying the Pelicans are sitting in fifth, a half game behind the Clippers. They're only a half game behind the Clippers. Half game, that's it. And so when you look at that, it's just really scary on what it is. I mean, right now it's right there. You have to win the games that are sitting in front of you. And when you look at where we're standing right now with the Pelicans have to win. They've got to win, okay? They've got to win. And when you look at the NBA games today, oh, my God. I didn't blow that up. I'm sorry, everybody. Let me blow this up. And then when you look at the games tonight, here are the games tonight. Us against the Pelicans, and then the Mavericks and the Kings, which is a huge game as well. And then the Lakers at the Bucks. But, of course, LeBron is not playing tonight. He's going to play against Memphis tomorrow, so he is not playing against the Bucks tonight, which means that the Bucks will probably win again, and the Thunder will be in trouble. So, but when you look at the scores yesterday, I don't know, boy, I did not prepare for this at all today, did I? I mean, my stuff is all messed up. We had a huge night of NBA games last night. The games that mattered to us last night, when you go down and you look at them all, I mean, there was a bunch of games, but let me see, where was I looking for? The Rockets, of course, won last night, and if you saw, they're in 11th place, and they're only a half game now behind the Warriors. So they're slowly creeping up there, and of course, we played them tomorrow night. So I mean, they're looking to win. They're looking to come at, and then of course the Nuggets took care of business last night. The Kings took care of business. So I mean, when you look at what's going on, what's happening, I mean, everybody's winning, and the Thunder have to keep up. The Thunder have to keep up. And here are the games that are coming up. Okay, and this is why I said the Thunder. This is what's up for us. We play the Pelicans tonight. Then you got to play the Rockets tomorrow night on back-to-back. Then we have the Suns on Friday, okay? I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Then you go to the Knicks, you go to the Sixers, then you have the Celtics on a back-to-back night, then you got to go to the Pacers, okay? Look at that. This does not get easy for the Thunder. The Thunder have to take care of business, and this is where they are. This is where they are. You have to win tonight. I mean, like I said, you're 0-1, like we talked about. You needed to go minimum of 6-3, if not 7-2, in your last 9 games. Okay? And right now that's 3, 6, 8. The first we're 0-1 right now out of 9. Here comes the second game. This 9-game span is going to tell us everything about where we're going to finish. Everything about where we're finished. Because remember, we have to play the Mavs, who are trying to win. We got to play the Bucks, who are trying to win and stay in second place. We have the Kings, who are trying to move up. The Pacers, the Celtics are just sitting where they're sitting, and the Knicks and all that. So here's the standings again, okay, just to show you what I'm talking about, okay? So you kind of see where I'm talking about the standings, because this will kind of help you kind of understand where everything is and where everybody needs to be at this particular point. Where are my standings? My standings are gone. What the hell just happened? Here we go. I knew I had my standings. Anyway, so when you look at the East, we played the Bucks. They're sitting in second. We played the Knicks. They're fighting for being third place. They're half game out of third place. Then we have to turn around and we got to play the Pacers. The Pacers are in sixth. They're trying to get into fifth place, so they're trying to get ahead of the Magic. And then that's when the Sixers, of course, are sitting there at 8th. So they're trying to move up. So you're playing the teams who are desperately needing wins. That's the Bucks trying to stay ahead of the Cavs. That's the Knicks trying to move into 3rd place. And that's the Pacers trying to move up to 4th place. So you look or to 5th place. So you see where they're at right now. And this is the Thunder and what we've got right now. You've got the 2nd place team in the East. You got the 4th place team in the East. You've got the 6th place team in the East. You have the 8th place team in the East. That's what you have coming up in your last 12 games. And you got to go minimum 2-2, if not 3-1 in those games. And remember, we gave away a game already because of who we were playing. Okay? It's about who you're playing. This guy, like we said many times, like I was talking to a gentleman earlier here at Georgia's, and he's not a fan of the coach at all. He goes, he's a G League coach. And I was like, well, he is. But I said his qualities are: 1, he's excellent at building up talent, which is at the time that we hired him, that's where we were at. 2, he's excellent at out-of-bounds calls and doing that. He is fantastic at those 2 things. He's horrible at lineups. He's horrible at understanding who can play and who can't, clearly, because him putting J-Dub over SGA is just ludicrous. And by the way, the gentlemen were talking to me about that as well. So those 2 things right there tell you exactly how people feel about what the Thunder are doing. And they are just like me. They feel like that what's going on with the Thunder is just absolutely atrocious on what they're doing with the Thunder and how rude and how, nobody gets it. I for sure don't get it. I don't understand what the hell they're doing. I really don't. I just don't. I don't understand what they're doing. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand what the hell they're doing. I don't understand why they're not. I'm freezing up here on my stuff right now, and I don't know why on my YouTube right now. But anyway, my problem is that it's frustrating to me because the Thunder, we have a great team, and they're only getting better, and they're getting better and better and better. And when you look at what we're doing and what we've got going on, our team is really nice. We have a very good team. They're young. They've got a lot of things going for them, but it's just frustrating to me on what's going on with the Thunder, on what they're doing to SGA. It really is frustrating. And I don't know how you do that. I just don't understand it. I don't. I mean, and as we were talking about it, my thing is simple. You bring Jada up and you play him at the end of you let him bring the ball up the court in the second quarter and fourth quarter. So you're basically saying we want the ball in your hands at the end of quarters. That's what you're saying. Now, for the rest of you all who aren't basketball knowledgeable and who don't get it and don't see the little intricacies, I get that. But that's exactly what they're doing. Now, you can watch for yourself and you tell me. Now, I have a question for everybody who out there in the audience. I have one simple question for you. As a person who doesn't know anything about basketball, whose hands do you want the ball in? But the problem is, most people are so whatever with this. Well, we're winning, and they're just blind to it, blind to it. But you can be blind to it all you want. You can be blind all you want. But the facts are the facts. Are they taking the ball out of SGA's hands at the end of quarters? Yes, they are. I mean, you can't remember the game that at 20 seconds left, they called timeout just to put J-Dub in the game with the second quarter. You wasted a timeout to put J-Dub in the game, to shoot the ball in the last 20 seconds. Wasted a timeout. Then SGA, when the game's on the line, he sat for almost 3 minutes trying to come in the game because you had already used your timeout. Wasted a timeout, putting J-Dub in the game. Those are the things that tell you right there, this coach is not fit to run. Now, I was with you guys at the beginning of the season. The Athletic said that SGA and Chet were ready to win. Thunder administration and the Thunder coaching staff were not, and players. 100% I was on everybody else's side. That is BS. That's not true. The Thunder are ready to win. The Thunder are ready to go. I was on everybody else's side in that aspect of it, 100%. Now, yeah, I'm not there. I'm with the Athletic. The Thunder, you have SGA and Chet wanting to win. Everybody else, yeah, not so much. Not so much. And for me, the Thunder, and I know I rant on this all the time, and the reason why is because, to me, as a lifelong Laker fan who's used to winning, you get a team here, we lose our first year, we come back and we get everybody rolling, and then you break that team up because you choose Russell Westbrook and you get rid of Harden. And at the time, I completely understood why Harden choked in the playoffs, which is what he does. But you chose Westbrook. Then you chose Westbrook over KD, over Scott Brooks, over Ibaka, over Sabonis, over Reggie Jackson. That's what you did. Now you've got another player that's on the same level as KD as far as a first team All NBA All Star, and then you're choosing another guy who is not as good to put in front of him. Again, you're making the same mistake again. I thought you're supposed to learn from your mistakes. I thought you're supposed to learn lessons when you screw up. I thought you're supposed to get better. That's what I thought. But clearly that's not what it is. So, but that being said, the Thunder are sitting here in you've got 8 games. And I showed you what the schedule is, and I showed you what the Thunder have to do to win. Okay? That's what they got to do. This is what's available. This is what's happening with the Thunder. Okay? This is where they're sitting. And it's just frustrating to me because, and I know I rant on it every day, and I know people get tired of it, but I'm sorry, I'm frustrated. Because I'm like, what the hell are y'all doing? We went through this once before, and now you're doing the same thing again, and you're dividing the team just like you did before. And you're picking a player who is not on the same caliber as before. And one of the reasons why Russell Westbrook won the MVP is because the Thunder made it clear for the players to make sure Russell had a triple-double. That's why he got it. That's it. He was not the best player, and no one will say, "Oh, Russell was the MVP. That he was the best player." Nobody's gonna say that. Everybody will tell you he won the NBA MVP because he had a triple-double. Nobody had done it since Oscar Robertson. The difference is Oscar Robertson earned his. Westbrook did not. Westbrook was given his by the Thunder. Now you have another MVP candidate, and you don't promote him. You don't do anything to help him out at all. You sabotage him. You don't give him the ball. You don't help him win. You don't do any of that, which makes zero sense to me. It's like at the end of a quarter, you do want a guy who leads the NBA in field goal percentage in clutch time, or do you want the ball guy who doesn't, who's not even top 10? What do you want? Why are you taking the ball out of your best player's hands to put it in a guy? Oh, right, never mind. You are putting it in who you think is your best player. And I like J-Dub. J-Dub is one of these guys that's underrated. People don't really see how good he is. And I'm 100% with all that. But my thing is this: why not put SGA ball in his hands, let him make it up? Then he know he's going to make the right pass. He's going to rank the right position. Every time he's going to either shoot the ball if he can't get a shot himself, or he's going to pass it off. And J-Dub is great at attacking when there's space. But when they're double teaming him, what did he do? He had 2 crucial turnovers turning the ball over because he's getting double teamed. Well, we'll just get him used to it. That ain't how it works. Either you have the skills to understand what's happening or you don't. And J-Dub, to his credit, he is trying to get paid. That's what he's about. And how do you get paid? By being the best player on the team and get a max contract. And the Thunder going to give him as much as max as they can. But he ain't going to be all NBA max. Will he make an all-star when SGA is gone? Possibly. But instead, why are you not promoting SGA and Chet? Because I'm sorry, AT&T, when they did their national commercial, who did they have? SGA and Chet. When Drake came to concert, who did SGA have on stage with him? Chet. Now, you can be weird, you can say whatever, but the facts are the facts, people. It is what it is. It's frustrating as hell to me because I want a team that wins, and I love our team. I love that we're young. I love what we have, but you got Gordon Hayward who doesn't fit, and you threw away a game to the Pacers because you played him 30 minutes. A guy who's only been in your team, 7, 8 games? What are you doing? Why is he starting? What right has he earned to start? He has not. How are you putting him in front of Isaiah Joe? And you look at all the numbers of everybody, okay? And I was showing these guys this a while ago. If you look at the Thunder shooting percentage, everybody's numbers have gone down except J-Dub's, basically. Look at these numbers. Everybody's numbers are going down slowly but surely. You take Wiggins out of the game to put Muscala and Lindy Waters in the game? Are you crazy? Are you serious? You lead the NBA in three-point field goal percentage without these 2 dudes, and you take your three-point shooters out, guys who've been shooting all year long, to put these 2 guys in. One's a G League player, and the other one is washed up. And yet you're playing them. What are you doing? What are you doing? They're not going to pass it to J. The NBA want the players, the other team. They put those two. They want them to shoot. Oh hell, let's double team everybody and let these two guys shoot. That's what they want. So what do? You play into their hands. I want Wiggins, who's shooting 48% from three, to shoot. I want Kaysen, who's shooting 41%. I want Isaiah Joe shooting 41%. Okay, that's who I want. Chet 39, J-Dub 44, SGA 30. They're gonna take the ball out of SGA's hands. We already know that. So I want one of these guys, and you'll put Lindy Waters, who doesn't hardly ever play. Muscala, who's gotten cut because he can't play on any other team, but he plays with our team. He got cut with anybody else, and you're playing him, and they're not playing him because he's washed up. Muscala used to be really good, but now he's old. All he can do is one thing, and that's shoot. But he has to be in rhythm to do that. That's why the Thunder were able to acquire him. He can't play for anybody else, and he shouldn't be playing for us. But are the Thunder really trying to win? Or are they still in, oh, we're young, so we're going to get better, down the road? Yeah, I'm over that. I'm over that. And remember, guys, you can go to YouTube and search the Unpopular Hour, Dash Matt Clark. Like, subscribe, hit notifications. And please, if you have any comments that you want to blast me, or you want to, dispute me, or you want to ask any questions on what I'm talking about, please go to YouTube, search the Unpopular Hour with Matt Clark, and like, subscribe, hit notifications, and comment. And I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have, okay? That's how I look at it, because to me, I love my team, and I love what we're doing. As a team, we're really good. We're young, but I don't care about all that, because what I've said before is this. We played so many close games over the last year and a half. We know what it takes to win. We know what it takes. But instead of the coaches putting the ball in the person's hands who's going to have the best chance for the Thunder to win, you take it out of his hands. What the hell kind of coaching staff are you? What kind of coach are you? The Nuggets are trying to win. You think they're going to take the ball out of Jokic's hands to put it in somebody else's hands? You think they're going to do that? Hell no, they're not. KCP, you think they're going to do that? No, hell no, they're not. They're going to put it in his hands to make sure he's going to make the right play. And then what's he going to do? He's going to dump it off to whoever's open, or he's going to score himself, just like SGA. I'm going to take the ball, and then I'm going to give it to the person in the right position if I can't score myself, because I'm going to trust me first, then everybody else. Thunder, they're not winning mentality. There's no way in hell you can tell me that. But don't give me the fact that you're young. I don't want to hear that nonsense. They have no experience. I don't want to hear that. We've been winning close games for the last year and a half. We understand what it takes to win close games. We understand that we have to get stops. We understand whose hands the ball needs to go into. We used to. Now we don't. Now you want it in J-Dub's hands. It's just like Westbrook. The worst guy in the world, you do not want the ball in his hands the last 2 minutes. You don't want him anywhere near the ball. Anywhere near the ball. Because why? Is he going to play hard? Yes. Do you know what you're going to get out of him? 100%. What's he going to do? Hurt you? And we're young, yes. But that young stuff, are we inexperienced in the playoffs? That's because we didn't try to get in the playoffs last year and gain some experience. Only two people got experience on this team is SGA and Dort. And then last year you could have had SGA, Dort, Josh, J-Dub, J-Will, Wiggins. I think Isaiah Joe has some. All those guys could have got playoff experience last year. But instead, you're trying to get one more bite at the apple, trying to lose on purpose. Just like you're doing now. You're losing again because of your mentality. So I don't want to hear that about us being young. You still can win. Now, how far is it going to go? I don't know, because it depends on who you play. It depends on where you are in the standings. But this next few games, this next 8 games is going to say everything that it needs to say. If you're 4-4, you're in trouble. If you're 5-3, you know you're finishing third. Okay? In the last 7 games. Okay, but we're 0-1 and 8. So we're already 0-1. So in your next 7 games, if you go, what is that? 3-4 or 4-3, you're in trouble. That's 4-4 over 8. Okay? If you go 5-2 over the next 6-7 games, you're going to be fine, because you can't go worse than 5-3. That's the worst you can go. You can't go 4-4. You can't go 3-5. You got to go 5-3 at the absolute worst, and you may finish second, but you're going to probably be third, and then you're going to have to go on the road to play Minnesota in Minnesota. The key is to finish second, to have home court advantage, or finish first to have home court advantage. Because we're 28-7, I believe, at home, something like that. So why would you not want to have a home game? That's what you want. You want to have home games, as many of those as you possibly can. So that's what I'm hoping for the Thunder. That's what I'm wishing. That's what I'm wanting. That's what we need. Play home games here. Have Paycom packed. Because remember, we have the loudest arena in the NBA. Now, people forget that because it's been a while since it's been jam-packed and loud. And these players, I promise you, if that place is rocking, you're going to give them all kind of energy because the place is rocking. When you play at home, like we played at Gallagher Iba, it was rocking. You came out there with your ears ringing. Well, when the commander Randy Wright and I played, it was like that. And it still is like that, but it was different when there was less people around. It just was. So those are the advantages that you have by playing at home. Plus, it gives, when it's tight and it's games that gets tight, you have your home crowd. You're not playing on the road. But if you're playing on the road or you're playing at home and you take the ball out of SGA's hands at the end of games and you're playing J-Dub as much as you're playing SGA, you're not going to win. And then you're going to give us, oh, well, we were young and we'll be back next year. Not if you're doing the same damn thing. You're not going to win anything doing what you're doing. It's not going to happen. You have to put everybody in position. Hey, there's a hierarchy. SGA's first, Chet and J-Dub, they're 2A, 2B, depending on what's happening. Then you've got Kaysen, 3A, 3B. You got Josh, 3A, 3B. Then you got the rest of the guys kind of Dort, 3C, 3B, 3, whatever. Cut down on his shoot. You can't shoot more than 6 times a game. 7 max. But I want you averaging 6 to 7 shots a game. I don't want you shooting 12, 11, 12, 13 times. No, I don't want you doing that. If you're open, take a shot. I don't want you trying to drive and create stuff because that doesn't work. You don't know how to do that. I want you stopping people on the defense. I want you quit creating stupid fouling, getting stupid fouls, fouling a three-point shooter. Stop doing that. Quit trying to create fouls. You're not on that level. Nobody's going to get, referees aren't going to respect you to give you that. It's not going to happen. It's just frustrating to me. Sorry, guys. I want to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, SRB, if you have needs for computers, software, or engineering, surveying, or planning, hit my guy Mark Long up over at SRB. If you have needs for that, they love to be behind the scenes. So if you have a new complex that you're building, they can come in and take care of that and do everything that you need to make sure it doesn't flood and everything is laid out properly the way it should be. Collaborative Logic, if you have needs for computers, software, or website design, hit my guy Russell Williford up. I love those guys because, the way if something is not physically wrong with your computer but it's software driven or software problem, they can remote in and fix it for you without disrupting your office. I love that about that. And then, of course, Oak Grove Trucking and my guy Jose Fierro. If you have needs for dirt, rock, or sand to be moved, hit my boy up. He's the man for that. And then, of course, YNB, family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They're an equal housing lender and a member of the FDIC, and they're the reason why we are here at Georgia's today. Georgia's Happy Hog, sponsoring women, minority, and black-owned businesses in the Oklahoma City area. You can pre-qualify online at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com. Or you go into the main location at YNB Main Bank downtown, Yukon, 401M, YNB East, which is off the Parkway in 66 or 39th Expressway, YNB Mustang, 218 North Mustang Road, YNB Parkway, which is off Garth Brooks and I-40, can't miss it, just south of I-40 and Garth Brooks right there, right in front of the hospital. You cannot miss it. And, of course, YNB Peoples located in Bethany on 23rd between Rockwell and MacArthur. And then, of course, Shelter Insurance, the Mark Pemberton Agency, located 4609 Southeast 29th, Dale City, Oklahoma, 670-2424. They are open Monday through Thursday, 9 to 5, Fridays 9 to 1, closed Saturdays and Sundays. Proudly serving the Mid-Day area since 1982. So hit those guys up. They are fantastic over there. Love Mark and them over there. So go ahead and hit those guys up, and we love to do something with you all. Then, of course, now, our boy Drew Hinthorn sent me his picks for today. He's only doing NBA because clearly we'll talk about the NCAA in a minute. By the way, great girls games last night. Man, I like watching girls basketball. I just do. The Pelicans, he's taking the Pelicans +1 tonight, and because I would too. I think 1 point. I think if the Thunder win, it's going to be close, but I don't know. I just don't trust the coach. I just don't. Kings, clearly Drew doesn't either. Kings -1. Lakers, man, he's taking the Lakers. How many is that? Oh, I guess 9.5 is a lot of points without LeBron. I guess I could see that in Milwaukee. And then, of course, Cincinnati and Indiana State. He's taking the under there, which I don't know why he did that. What is that about? I don't know why he did that. Oh, that's in whatchamacallit. That is in the NAIA, I believe. Yeah, it's the NAIA, or not NAIA, but I forgot what it's even called. NIT. Well, I'm really a sports guy. I can't even think of NIT, man. I can't believe we turned down NIT, and I don't blame you. NIT is just whatever. But anyway, those are Drew's picks for today. He's taking the Pelicans +1, the Thunder, and he's taking the Kings -1, the Lakers +9.5, and then he's doing the under for the Cincinnati Indiana State game in NIT tonight. So now, that being said, I tell you what, yesterday in women's basketball, I don't know if you guys saw any of the women's games last night, but I'm going to tell you this. Great games last night between the teams. I loved what I saw last night. It was amazing. And then, of course, when you look at that, South Carolina against Indiana, I thought that the Lady Sooners kind of gave that game away last night against Indiana. I just thought that they should have won that game. That's just me. I thought they should have won it, but Indiana did take care of business, and the OU Lady Sooners didn't really have their best game last night. So anyway, Indiana took care of business, and they're going to face South Carolina because I really wanted to see OU and South Carolina. I thought that would be a great game. And I was really interested in that. Then, of course, Oregon State and Notre Dame, and I'm going to tell you this. That's going to be a really good game. It really is. That's going to be really good. Notre Dame is a great team. Oregon State women are playing, the Lady Beavers are playing really well, so it's going to be good. I cannot wait to watch that also. And then Texas and Gonzaga, that's going to be a good game. Now you got Gonzaga men's and women's, which is great to have them both in the Sweet 16. I just like when teams are able to do that because UConn is the only team that I know that consistently does that. NC State and Stanford, that ought to be another good one. Like that last night. I just enjoy watching good basketball, and women's basketball is pretty good. And then, of course, Iowa did everything they needed to. They kind of got a scare last night, but they did take care of business. Caitlin Clark took care of business with 30. What, she have 32 last night? 31, 32 last night. And, of course, Iowa is going to face Colorado today, or Colorado in the Sweet 16. And by the way, congratulations to Caitlin Clark becoming the all-time leading scorer for a season. Anyway, she's just going to continue to add to that number. So congratulations in that. And, of course, LSU versus UCLA. Man, I tell you what, and I can tell you this, LSU and Iowa is the game I don't know if they're going to get past Colorado, but LSU and UCLA, it's going to be a great game. But let's face it, I want to see the rematch of last year's national championship game, which is Iowa versus LSU. I really want to see that in the Elite Eight. That is the game, and, of course, that's going to be April 1st, which is what, Saturday? Is the first Saturday? When is April 1st? Is that Saturday? When is the 1st? Let me look on my calendar here. April 1st is Monday. So I want to see that Monday night. Oh, that's right, because they play Saturday, Monday. That's right. So I cannot wait to watch that. If they get those two games, that's I'm going to definitely be glued to the TV for that. I'm going to see, does the Thunder play on Monday? Because I'll have to be watching that game, or have both games on. That's what I'll be doing. Let me see. April the 1st. Okay, good. The Thunder play Tuesday against the Sixers, so I'll be able to watch that game. So fantastic. That is awesome. USC against Baylor. That's going to be another good one. I think that Juju will handle the business with that. And then I love to see USC versus UConn. Man, Ooh, that's a game I want to see those games. So that's two games I definitely want to see is Iowa against SC. I mean, I want to see Iowa against LSU and SC against UConn. I want to see that. And then also I'd like to see Texas against Stanford and then South Carolina against Notre Dame. So in my Elite Eight games, those are the games that I want to see. South Carolina versus Notre Dame, Texas versus Stanford, Iowa versus LSU, and SC versus UConn. If I can see those games, talk about somebody that'd be happy. I would be extremely happy if I could see those games. That would be fantastic for me. I'd be like, yes, let's go. I'd be ready to see that for sure. Those are games that I would love to be able to see and be able to do because, I mean, to me, that's the game those games are going to make college women's basketball. Because men, we've already talked about who we have on that particular side of it. In men's, we talked about that. In men's basketball, when you come in, let's go ahead and pull up the men's right now in the NCAA bracket, which, of course, on Thursday, we will be watching those games, and we will be at, where were we going to be Thursday? We're going to be at Industry, I believe. Joe told us to be there at Industry. So, anyway, we've got UConn against San Diego State, Illinois versus Iowa State, UNC versus Bama. That's going to be a really, really good game. And, of course, I've got UNC going on from that, beating Bama. Then Clemson against Arizona, which, of course, I've got Zona. And then you've got Houston against Duke, which is, man, it's going to be good. And then, of course, I did have Kentucky, but clearly they're not playing. And that's just, anyway. NC State against Marquette. That's going to be a good game. I don't really care about it. I don't really care who wins. I mean, I really don't. I think Marquette will probably win, but I don't really care. Then Purdue against Gonzaga. Again, another Gonzaga team in the Sweet 16. Says a lot about who you hire as a coach and what you're doing. Because Gonzaga, who the hell wants to go out there? But again, everybody talks about Oklahoma State and what the opportunity for them. You know, you've got a program. You've got the best arena in the country. You're playing in the best conference in the country. Hire the right damn coach to come out and bring in the players. Then, of course, you've got Creighton against Tennessee. I'm going to be rooting for Creighton in that particular game and my boy Trey Alexander for that game. That's who I'm going to be rooting for them to go ahead and get a W right there if that's at all possible. I'm really excited about that. So now in the NFL, they gave all the over-unders, and we talked about that. And I told you yesterday that I would go over the over-unders per conference and what I thought was going to be good. So here are the over-unders for the AFC to start out. Okay, the AFC East, the Bills 10.5. Josh Allen. I mean, I just think the Bills and they with Diggs and what's going on with them losing Gabe Davis. I think they should be able to win 10 games. I would think, but that conference has gotten a little better. The Dolphins have gotten better. The Jets, we'll see, they're at 9.5, and then the Patriots, they're a dumpster. But 9.5 for the Jets, depending on what Aaron Rodgers does. Aaron Rodgers should be good, but he is 40, and his line is kind of suspect. So the question is, what will he be able to do really to bring them up? But the Dolphins, they've reloaded. I think they're going to be better. But once again, they play in a cold division, except for them being the only hot spot. So they're going to have to go out and win a bunch of games early, because when it it'll be hard for the Dolphins to win those games on the road if they're playing them late. Now, if they're playing them early, that's going to be to the advantage of them. But if they're playing them late, if they're playing early on the away games in September and October, that's going to greatly benefit them. But if they're playing them late in December, the Dolphins, you might as well count those as L's. So I think the Bills I'm going to take right now before the draft. I'm going to take the over for the Bills, over for the Dolphins, over for the Jets, and Patriots I'm going to do under for them. AFC North, over for the Ravens. I think the Bengals are going to come back with a passion, so I know they're going to win at least 11 games. The Browns, I'm going to take the over. I think that this is what they did last year for Deshaun Watson. They have one more year with him. But I think with that defense and what they're doing, they should be with the same defensive coordinator for 2 years. I think that's going to make a difference. And then the Steelers, they only gave them 8.5 wins with Russell Wilson. I've got to give them the over because the one thing about what he did successful at Seattle, he had a running game, he had a defense, and he had some receivers. And what does he have in Pittsburgh? He's got a running game, he's got a defense, and he's got a receiver. So that should help him right there. The AFC South, which is just trash. You got the Texans at 9.5. I don't know if they're going to be able to do because people didn't see them coming last year. They will see them, but their defense have gotten stronger, and offensively they've gotten better. So I'm interested to see with that. So I'm going to take over with them, but no more than one win. I think they'll get 10, maybe 11, but at least 10 wins. So I'm going to do the over there. The Jaguars, I think they were winning and remember leading the NFL until he got hurt. So I think they'll be back next year, but they did lose Calvin Ridley, so we'll see what's going to happen with them. Colts 8.5, Titans 5.5. The Titans, they don't have a quarterback, and in this league, if you don't have a quarterback, you're in trouble. AFC West, when you look at the Chiefs, 11.5 wins. They're improving their wide receiver room now by trading L'Jarius Sneed. Everybody's all big on that. I am too. I mean, I understand it, but on the other side of that, man, he was a nice lockdown. But you do have an all-pro there, but on the other side of that, you got some young guys coming back. On top of that, the one thing you need is to be able to score. You can't average 17 points a game. I mean, if you're going to beat the Chiefs, what they got, if they win the Super Bowl averaging 17 points a game was just ridiculous. But that just shows you the greatness of Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes being collaborative along with Spagnuolo as the defensive coordinator and Travis Kelce and Chris Jones. But you have that three-headed monster, which is Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Chris Jones. That's the three-headed monster that's just ridiculous, okay? You have the best defensive player in football, best defensive lineman in football. You have the best quarterback in football. You got the best tight end in football, okay? So that's the thing. The Chiefs, I'm predicting they'll win more than 11 games because they gave away a bunch last year. Chargers, 8.5. I think that they're going to be okay, but they don't have wide receivers yet, and this is why this is an early pre-draft. So we'll see what's going to happen after the draft on what they get in the draft because they need some wide receivers, and this draft is loaded with those, so that should help quite a bit. The Raiders are just the bounty or what do they call it? Like they call it the Jordan rules, the Mahomes rules. I mean, why are you trying to go out and hurt the best quarterback in there? Is that what you're trying to do? Or are you just trying to talk? So. And I don't think somebody would legitimately try to go out and hurt Mahomes, but I think now you just drew attention to yourself. And the first time he gets a dirty shot or whatever, you're going to get a phone call from the commissioner. He's the face of the NFL. The Cowboys and NFC East, those are my boy Drew Henthorn's team. I don't blame Jerry Jones. I'm not paying Dak 60-something million either. He is not worth he's not a top 3 quarterback. Why the hell are you playing him? I don't understand this whole, well, that's what the next guy up. No, if you don't deserve it, why am I paying you better than anybody else? If you ain't above, why am I paying you better than Mahomes? You ain't him. Why am I paying you better than Jackson? You ain't him. Why am I paying you better than Burrow? You ain't him. Why am I paying you better than Josh Allen? You ain't him. So why am I paying you all this money? No, I'm not giving you 60-something. I'm not. And I think just like they said, Jordan Love coming in there spanking the Cowboys showed them what it is and what Dak is. Now, it's Jerry's fault because they didn't pay Dak when Carson Wentz and all of them got paid because they didn't believe in him. And they got to the point where they got stuck. And now they're stuck and they're not going to do it again, which I don't blame them. I let Dak go. I go find me a quarterback if I can, but they have no money to spend. You got to sign CeeDee Lamb. And, you're in trouble next year. You just are. Eagles 10.5. With what they've added, Saquon Barkley is going to make a difference. I do predict they'll be back, and I give them 11 wins. I really do. The Commanders 7.5. I'm going to do under on that. Depends on who their quarterback is. The Giants, I just have zero confidence in them at all. Lions, they're just reloaded. The Packers reloaded. I both give them at least over them. I think both of them are going to win 11 games. I like both of those teams and what they have depth-wise, talent-wise, youth, everything. Bears, 8.5. They won 7 games last year without Caleb, and they've added weapons. So I'm going to do over on them. I think they will get 9 wins, maybe 10. That's what I'm thinking about the Bears before the draft. Vikings, depends on who they get at quarterback. and they got a great offensive coordinator. They got a great head coach. So I'm just gonna say they've got weapons. The best wide receiver, Jefferson's the best wide receiver in football. There's just no question. So we'll see who they get. So, but right now I'm gonna do under on them, and I'll see once the draft comes. I'll see who they have. NFC South. The Falcons, 8.5. I think they're going to win more than that because I think Kirk Cousins, he's a great season quarterback. He plays great in the season, so I'm thinking they're going to get 10 wins. Bucks, Baker Mayfield, 8.5. I think, he is who he is. Saints, 7.5. Panthers, they're just struggling until they can figure out their coaching staff, till they can figure out who they can get. I'm just not a fan of them. I'm just not. And then the West, the Niners, they're getting old. They can't continue where they're at, and I think the window is slowly closing on them. I think Brandon Ayuk wants out. They're not willing to pay him, and that's going to be a headache for them, I believe. So to me, Brock Purdy is a nice quarterback, but you got to have weapons. He's got to have weapons, And I know whatever the Jason guy on Colin Cowherd's on the herd. I mean, I just laugh at this guy because I'm like, dude, you're a Jets fan. What the hell do you know? He may have some outrageous takes and something about, the Brock Purdy bashing. Colin Cowherd is just saying the way it is. I hate that you know that's what it is, but you act like you know stuff and you don't. Your takes are ridiculous. Rams, 6.5. I think that's a downplay for them, but that just shows you what Aaron Donald does mean to the Rams. They're like, without him, the best player, one of the best players, if not the best interior defensive tackle in the history of the game. So that's what they're basically saying. I don't know how much I agree with that, but 6.5 is not a lot. They still have Matt Stafford. They still have their coach. McVay and Stafford, I think they're going to win games simply because of who they have. That's just kind of how I feel about that. I think they're going to win. I'm going to take over on that. But again, I have to wait till the draft to see who all they have in the draft first because that's going to tell a lot to me when I see the draft, okay? Then you've got the Seahawks. I have zero confidence in them whatsoever. They've got a new coach, new system, so we'll see. I just don't know who they're going to draft as quarterback because they need one bad. And then the Cardinals, they're going to be a little bit better, but Kyler has to have some help. If you don't give Kyler any help, they're in trouble. I don't care how you look at it. I don't care what. He's a very, very good quarterback. To me, he's better than Baker Mayfield. And I know that people get mad at me about that, but to me, he is. He's better than Baker Mayfield. I just think he is. And I think Baker was a great quarterback at OU because of his offensive coordinator and because of who he had. You look at his, talent all over the place. And I've argued with OU guys about it many times. If you had Patrick Mahomes instead of Baker Mayfield, you win at least one national title. Because Lincoln Riley, as his offensive coordinator, with that defense, those weapons, he scored 50-something on OU, just by himself with no weapons. I just think if he had the weapons that Baker had, and they would have been unbelievable. They would have been unbelievable. So, but I know OU fans are caught up on Baker, and they love Baker, and I get it. I like Baker, too, and I think he was an excellent quarterback. And I'm glad that he is matured and is not the jerk that he was being while he was in Cleveland because, the chip on his shoulder was outrageous. It was outrageous, but we'll see. But anyway, I want to thank my guys over here at George's Happy Hog, one of my favorite places. In fact, I'm getting ready to get my food right now, located 712 Culbertson Drive, just east of Lincoln Boulevard. George's Happy Hog. For catering events, call them at 405-525-8111. They're closed Sundays and Mondays. They're open Tuesday through Fridays from 11 to 7, and on Saturdays from 11 to 5. So hit those guys up. It's a great place. And, of course, it's brought to you by YNB, family owned and operated since 1912, the bank that makes things happen. An equal housing lender and a member of the FDIC, and they are the sponsor for us to be here at George's Happy Hog. If you want to pre-qualify, you can do that online at www.ynbok.com. So do that. So that being said, hey, go out there and enjoy this cold weather. When the hell is it going to warm up? I'm ready to get on the golf course. You know what I'm saying? Ready to hit some golf balls. So it needs to warm up some. I'm tired of this. When is this? This is the end of May or end of March. It's supposed to be warm right now. We're not supposed to be dealing with cold. We're not supposed to be 50. I'm not supposed to have sweats on right now. I'm not supposed to have it. We need to fix that. That being said,